All right, this next part is going to be rough. I have used Google Data Studio a total of one time, and it took me many, many hours to create just this stuff right here. Took that long because I was learning it as I was going and teaching myself for the most part. It wouldn't take that long now, but still, it is a considerable chore. So I will fumble through this. I am going to not do a good looking job. I'm going to show you how it works and let you come back and clean up with pretty little text boxes of colors and backgrounds and things like that. So what I'm going to do is just go to Data Studio and create a blank studio. And so it's asking right here, I need to connect to data. There are lots of options here, as you can see. This can be a pretty deep SQL tool, but all we want is sheets. So I'm going to click on sheets. It starts looking for, these are sheets of my own. I could also search by other ways, but this top one is probably the most current. That one, yep, so I want the one where I'm already, let me think here. Yeah, this one will be fine. I'll use the import range. So I want that right there, and if I move this out of the way, it's going to use the first row as headers, and it is going to include anything that's hidden or filtered. I don't have anything on this one that's hidden, but I did back in the summer on the other one, and I needed to include that. I can add in a range here and see if that makes it any better. All right, so I clicked Add Report. It brings in what it can. It makes assumptions right off the bat, like it tries to automatically fill some stuff in here, and you see this table is what's here. I'll go ahead and just move that down for now. That's fine. I'll change that some other time. What I think I want to start off with is just, if you look back at what I'd done before, it was up at the top, just kind of like a big numbers. It was a like a speedometer gauge on the left, indicating how many total records had come in or responses had come in, which they call records. And then I had it broken down by how many were type A and type B and so on. But in this case, I think all I need is, it would still be good to see the total number that have come in. I'm going to add a shape just right back here. It's got this white background, and I'm just going to start off with that, just because it gives me something to play with. On top of that, I think I'm going to put a text box here that's just right up here that says something like total responses. And I think I want all that to be quite a bit larger. We'll leave that there. Maybe right here, I want to add in a chart. Now, here are all the options for chart types. We can come back to that in a second. This drop down is another thing called visualizations, which just nuance. It's just a matter of where they're pulling stuff in. I clicked on that one there. I'm going to put it here. It is going to start off with a record count. It sees that a record count is 2. It is looking, as you see over here from the available fields. Remember, I brought in A through K a while ago, and so here are the options that it's found. It's looking at a total record count, meaning just how many people have responded to the form just in total, and it's 2. Well, that's correct. So it's doing it correctly. What I don't like, though, is these color gauges over here. So I want to go click on Style, and 0 as the minimum is fine, but we have about 1320 or something like that students in the virtual academy, in just grades, I think K through 8. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I'm going with right now. And so as I change that there, you see that now that number has changed to 1320. What I want is the green section. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but see the little green, yellow, and reds right down there? I want maybe the green to be, I'll just say 1250 to to 1320. And I'm just going to disable the other colors. And as you can see, it just kind of gives me that little range here, like, hey, we're getting close, you know, down there. Maybe I'll come here and make this actually 1,000 instead or something, just so that you see a bigger number there. But leave that however you want. You can make that look however you want. Okay. So if we come back to data, as far as our record count, that's fine. I think that says plenty. The next thing I think that would be handy would be a table per school of just how many respond. You see, this is actually showing like the person's name and everything. I don't know that that's what we want. So let me see if I can just use what they've got, which is a chart and table. So it's pulling in right now everything according to everything that has a timestamp it's looking at, but its dimension is email address. I really don't want email address. I want school. So I'm going to drag school over here. And so right now it says, hey, how many Audubon, and I can drag that a little bit, how many record counts have come in from Audubon? And so that shows that. So that's probably a good metric. I'm going to drag it down here because as you go back to that sheet, which was this one, as you come in here and you build out the rest of this and you have all the other schools using that copy and paste that I showed you in the part 1 video, as you fill that out, then this will also grow. So right now the record count is 1 just for those 2 schools, and the others will come with time. I don't think I need anything else there on that, but maybe if I put in another table next to it, so insert chart table, put it right there. On this one, I'm going to get rid of email address and do grade. So if I click grade and bring it into there, and so it's going to sort accordingly. Now, I believe you can change its sort, ascending, descending, and so on. That's fine. In our case, they all say grade in front of it. But it should still sort by the space after that. That might be all that really is absolutely essential on kind of an overall dashboard. And again, Laura, I'm going to let you come in here and change, you know, how you want it spaced or how big you want the font types and colors. All that stuff is done over here in style. So I'm just going to leave this as it is for right now. And I'm going to add a second page. Well, let me go back first. On this first page, if you would rather just grow the initial page longer down, then you can get into page and page settings and go to style, and you can just make it a very tall, long, tall page. You can do that there. I am just going to go over to a second page, use the same size that we had before, close that up. And what I want on this one is insert a chart. I'm going to go down to pivot table, put that there. I'm actually going to drag this over to here. And so on this, I want no email address. Oop. I want grade, and I want school. Okay, grade I'm putting down there. There we go. And I'm getting rid of confirmation. So I've taken this one and it's sorting according to school and by grade. And so what I want to do over here in this area is I want to add a filter. And I got to remember how to do that. I don't remember if it was this or not, so bear with me. All right, so I put in, I don't know if you was watching that, a control. I did a fixed size list. Again, this will grow as you put in more schools. I'm going to click on view just to make sure that's doing what I want it to do. If I uncheck a school, does it change over here? Yes, it does. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. Of course, you can do the only also once you get a long list. Okay, and again, only grade 3, but as more people fill out the form, that should grow also. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. Again, color, styles, sorting, all of that stuff, you are welcome to come back and play with. And I'm going to click on page 1 again. And you may not want, this big thing here. I was just giving you an idea. So put that there. Maybe I pull this up. You can just orient this however you want. Okay, so just as an example, I've played with those a little bit as compared to having them down here on the bottom. Any of that is fine. I will warn you that the reason I did a second page for this table is because I knew I was going to put in a filter. This is called a filter. If I decided I wanted that on page 1, if I added a filter down here, it would also change all this data up here unless I use a group. So if you end up going back and adding that on the first page instead, you'll want to just drag a big, I'll do it up here. You'll just want to drag a big square around those, right click and group. You would want to do that on the filtered part down below. So, okay, so I think that gets you started. I'm going to stop the recording, let you look over it, give you rights to edit this that I've created. And then if you need more help as you go, you just reach out, okay?